What is up, guys? Today we're back with Cory, who you guys know because of his burgundy VRT Corrado, but today we're going to be checking out his brand new Corrado project.
Hey, what's up everybody? We're here today with my 94 Twilight Violet Volkswagen Corrado. This car started out its life in Germany, first 28 years over there, and then it was imported over here to the United States, and it's been stateside ever since. So yeah, I've always liked the idea of having a purple or violet Corrado. Ice gray violet, the violet touch, or the Twilight Violet always struck my attention. So when this car came up as an option to buy, I couldn't refuse it. The kind of sad thing, this car came originally as a 2-liter 8-valve non-supercharged motor with 4-lug suspension. It was kind of like the base model Corrado, has no AC, crank windows. So when I saw this available, I immediately thought that I'd be happy with the chassis, but chances are there'd be a different motor going into this car at some point, which you'll see it later in the video. We did accomplish that so far. As you guys all know, the European market offered different interior options that we didn't get over here in the United States. So that was another deciding factor to get this car. The fact that it's got a confetti interior versus just a standard red dot, blue dot, gray dot, or full leather like we got here in the States. Kind of sets itself apart from cars we typically see here in the United States. Something that always grabbed my attention, being a VR6 guy, is going 24 valve. And as 24 valve powertrains are becoming more and more available, I decided that it was time to actually turn a Corrado into a 3.6. Inspiration goes out to Frank. If you all know Corrado Alley, Frank, he's the guy who kind of set this whole thing in motion when I got behind him a few years ago and got to see his car in action. It really struck that nerve where I felt like I needed to do this for myself one day, and here we are. So as you can see, the 3.6 is already installed and running great, thanks to Malcolm over at B&M AutoWerx. His shop's located in Jersey. Highly recommend him if you have any Corrado needs. But he was a big help in getting this car to where it is now. I took the time to pull the existing 8-valve motor out, did the 5-lug swap, I cleaned up the engine bay, and then we used the Fabulous manufacturing front crossbar, and then their mount kits for the tranny and the rear motor mount. So one nice thing about using the Fabulous manufacturing setup is that it allows you to use an MK3 style radiator. As you all know, the Corrado radiators sit on a pretty harsh angle, so this gives you a little bit more room to work with. So it's a Mark III Mishimoto radiator with a full aluminum end tanks, aluminum core, and Malcolm was able to find a fan shroud and fan setup from an RX-7. He was kind of able to retrofit and make work with this existing radiator. Also, we did a non-ABS conversion, so I got the bracket from S&P, booster and master cylinder. Also did a clutch master at that time. We did a 5-lug conversion, like I mentioned already, but instead of just doing factory VR6 brakes, I decided to go with the driver edition calipers and rotors. In the rear, it's just a standard SLC rotor with a MK4 style caliper, and then we kept the original. This car came with the G60 style steering rack, so we just bought new inner and outer tie rod ends to keep that existing power steering rack in place without having to switch over to a VR or try to source one somewhere. So when I sourced this motor, I didn't have a transmission lined up for it at that point. So fortunately for me, Malcolm, who I mentioned earlier, did the motor swap. He recently converted his car to DSG, and the existing O2A that he was using in his Corrado already has a wave track, stage 2 clutch, and I also got the O2J shift tower, and we fit the O2J or Mark IV style shifter box as well. So he was also running the Diesel Geek short shift setup, so we incorporated all that stuff into this car since it was already in use on his car. We knew it worked fine, so it was a matter of just putting it in my car and being happy with it. For the exhaust, it's using the factory 3.6 exhaust manifold, and then I have the Tectonics downpipe that's used for the Corrado and also MK2 platform. Malcolm was able to install that, and then he incorporated a 3-inch straight back through into a Borla muffler. Some plans I have are to add a resonator and possibly a high flow cat as well, just to kind of get rid of some of the fumes and exhaust smell that comes along with this setup. So the paint job on this car it's been resprayed at some point. There's been some body modifications over the years. Like for example, the hatch had been completely shaved. Something I was a huge fan of. The European side markers were deleted. There's just some things I'd like to kind of bring back and make it look more original. So it's gonna get a paint job in the next about 16 months from now. We're shooting for June 2025, just so you all know. But what's going to come along with that is a full respray. I have Euro VR6 bumpers to go along with it. This car now came factory with the G60 bumpers, so to kind of keep everything uniform, I'd like to put VR bumpers on. And we're going to incorporate the side markers. I have another hatch to use for the back, and yeah, it's going to get reworked from Dave Pastor over at Slaw. Yeah, so I'm glad to be able to share my new project with you guys. At this point, it's still a work in progress. Like I said, there's some future plans for this car, but for now, I'm just happy to drive it, enjoy it. We'll take it out for a spin and let you guys get a little sample of what she's like right now.
Sounds awesome. Really good.
It feels great to be behind the wheel of this thing again.
That is awesome. Yeah, definitely compared to, like, we both have our 12 valve VR6 turbos. Definitely a much bigger sound. Like that's some real Wookiee noises there.
Can't beat them Wookiee sounds.
Oh, that is awesome. So what's some of the biggest differences you notice being from your 12 valve VR6 turbo to this car?
First, I mean, the biggest difference is the throttle response. Obviously, having the drive-by-wire, the throttle cable is so touchy. It's really something I have to get used to. Pulling out, shifting, everything about it was just a different animal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the responsiveness, the low end torque, everything about it is so much different than what my VRT provides.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a game changer.
Yeah. But that pulls hard. Yeah, it's totally different feel for sure.
Yeah, I like having like I said, the torquiness and responsiveness of the 3.6. It just gives you a totally different power band than